According to one widely shared version, Margaretta Fox, also called Maggie or Margaret, was 14, and her younger sister Catherine, later known as Katie or Kate, had just turned 11. About 4 months before, the Fox family had temporarily moved into the house in the upstate New York community of Hydesville while they were building a new home nearby. In early March, the girl's mother began hearing odd knocking and thumping noises during the night. At first, she thought it was furniture being moved or footsteps on the wooden floor, but after she lit a candle and checked the house, Mrs. Fox saw that everything was in its place. On Friday, March 31st, 1848, the night before April Fool's Day, the sisters announced that they heard noises every evening at bedtime. They told their parents that it sounded as if someone was tapping a foot on the floor or knocking on doors. The girls claimed that they had developed a code of raps for communicating with the source of the mysterious sounds. They called the knocker Mr. Splitfoot, another name for the devil. Using raps, he answered yes or no questions. 2 raps for yes, silence for no. Their mother was convinced that ghosts were making the noises. She asked Splitfoot, "Is this a human being that answers my questions so correctly?" No rap. "Is it a spirit? If it is, make 2 raps," she went on. 2 loud raps. Mrs. Fox had heard a rumor that a man was killed in the house. By asking the spirit more questions, she and the girls learned that he had been a 31-year-old peddler. The ghost confirmed with knocks that he'd been robbed and murdered in the house and that his body was buried in the basement. Mrs. Fox invited her neighbors to witness the knocking themselves. The spirit was able to answer questions about their families, such as how old their children were. The neighbors were as amazed as Mrs. Fox. Reports of ghostly rappings in Hydesville quickly circulated in the area. Dozens of curious local people visited the farmhouse. A group of them dug up the dirt basement floor in search of the peddler's body. But instead of finding bones, they hit groundwater and had to stop digging as the floor flooded. Rochester rapping. Unnerved by the presence of a ghost, the girls' parents moved out of the haunted farmhouse. They sent Maggie and Katie to live with their adult sister, Leah Fox Fish, a piano teacher in Rochester, about 30 miles, 48 kilometers, away. The knocking followed the girls. Leah spread the word in Rochester about her younger sisters and the mysterious rappings. The news lit a fire in central New York. Rochester was a thriving city on the shore of Lake Ontario in the Finger Lakes section of the state. Many of the region's well-educated residents were open to unconventional ideas, and the area had become a breeding ground for reforms in politics and religion. Some people were active in movements to abolish slavery and to give women the right to vote. The first Seneca Falls Women's Rights Convention would be held in July 1848, about 25 miles, 40 kilometers, from the Fox House in Hydesville. Others had adopted religious viewpoints that differed from the teachings of the traditional Protestant and Catholic churches in the United States. These included the belief that the sick could be cured through magnetic power transmitted by someone laying hands on their bodies. Another idea was that spirits of the dead existed in an afterlife and could speak to a living person who was in a trance. The concept of life after an earthly death had been part of many cultures and religions for thousands of years. Tales of ghostly knocking and rattling had been told for centuries. Still, the story of the Fox sisters and Splitfoot's rappings grabbed the attention of central New Yorkers in an unprecedented way. The idea that spirits could communicate with the living was appealing. During the 1840s, a time before vaccines, antibiotics, and other effective medicines, disease often tragically and